South Africa has a very progressive constitution ever since 1994. Does that do you find it difficult to promote gender equality in South Africa, or do you find that generally speaking the country is moving with you?
Not at all. You know, since we do have a very, very good constitution, we have, at least we have something that support us. You know, when we challenge traditional leaders, church leaders, at least we have something, we have the document which we always produce to say, okay, look, what we are talking about here, it is here in Constitution under this and this and this section. So this is not allowed, even if it was happening before, because most of them, they will tell you that, okay, this is how we grew up doing this and this, and we have to educate them to say, no, it was then, but now situation is no longer there. You have to change in order to be sure that you are not end up in jail. So I will say thank you for our government for such an achievement, because now at least we have something to produce.
And tell me a bit about the work that you do. How do you influence women and church leaders and local leaders? How do you influence them to ensure that that women are respected more?
Well, you know, we are such a cultural people in that area, and in order to make sure that church leaders and traditional leaders are educated, we firstly work with schools. You know, once you work with children, your messages, you know, get spread easily, and you know, some parents do listen to the children. So we start work with schools, and in my organization, Women's Leadership and Training Program, we run workshops for girls and young women from age of 8 to 35 years old, where we are trying to conscientize them. So we're trying to help them to realize that, okay, what was before, like in terms of gender things, it's no longer like that now. So they have to get rid of those kind of things. Then after we educated young ones, then we move, you know, forward to the older groups. Like we go now to the churches and talk to the church leaders and do also workshops for them, and they're responding very well, although you know there will be always some gaps there and there. Some just take things serious, and some, you know, kind of pulling feet, you know. Yeah.
And what is the knowledge of climate change among women in KwaZulu-Natal? Is there a good understanding of the issues that are on their way, or do most women not know much about it?
I think that's a difficult one. You know what happened? We as we are working with this group, they know, they are aware of climate change, but when you go to the whole community, then it's where the problem is, because there's nothing that like government has done in order to conscientize people on climate change. But through the awarenesses, we have done some awarenesses with some schools and some churches. So since we did that, people now at least understand, at least know the words, and at least know, you know, the concept of the climate change and so on and so on. But there is still lots, you know, to do in order to make sure that the whole community is really aware. But you know, I think what also what also help us is that we try to make sure that we link what is happening to what they are seeing. We're not talking about the things that are happening over there, but we are talking about what is happening in their, you know, communities. Like we've been experiencing floods, drought, and so on and so on. So they know, they can see, they can relate these impacts to them.
Well, you speak very eloquently about the problems faced by women in KwaZulu-Natal. Tell me, what impact has the appointment of Minister Mashabane had as president of COP17? Do you think that having a South African female minister has helped you getting your message across to communities around this region?
Well, I would say out of 100%, I can give them maybe 35 to 40%, because what is happening, it's like the people who are from rural areas, they are like isolated. That no one has come to them in order to help them to understand what even what they did. They just do it in the in the cities, not in the rural areas. And this is very sad to the people from rural areas, because they also deserve to know that they have to understand what is happening around them. To don't know, it's like you are not a part of the country. You're not a citizen.